Hey, and I'm back. So let's keep working on the color switch. In Unity, I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see it. And now what I want to do is inside of Unity, what I want to show you is that I already created new shapes that are more advanced shape. And I'm going to press play so that you guys can see them. So what I did is that I'm going to press play and move the sphere so that you guys can easily see it. What I did is that I took the shapes that we had and created new shape by just scaling them down inside of it. And I created this one. Then I created a smaller circle with different colors, such as this one as well. So I can like move it and you guys can see it. But it's very similar at this point. And what I want to do now is even more complex shape, have a triangle inside of a circle. And I'm going to remove this one. I'm going to select the triangle one, the triangle object. I'm going to duplicate the triangle object. So I'm going to right-click duplicate. And now that it's duplicated, I'm going to call this one triangle circle object so that I know that it's the triangle and the circle as well object. All right. Now inside of it, there's only the triangle. So what I need is duplicate it so that there's also a circle around it. And by doing this, I can take the circle and add that. So I can take the circle object, duplicate the circle that's inside of it. So right-click, duplicate, and then move it. Now that I have duplicated it, I can move it inside of the triangle circle object. Okay, and I need to move it at the right spot. So I'm going to move it at 0, 0, 0. So taking the circle and moving it at 0, 0, 0. Cool, now it's around it. Looks pretty neat. Now I have to make sure that the circle is not too big, and right now it's a little bit too big, so I'm going to scale it down to, let's say, 2.5. Yes, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. Okay, so that's just like around it. And now what I also want to do is move the color switcher a bit down so that it doesn't touch the circle. Somewhat around here. Good. And there's way too many stars inside of it, so I need to remove some stars. I'm going to go look in the circle, take the star checkpoint and move it inside of the start of instead of the triangle circle, and move the one from the triangle out. So I'm going to go in the triangle and delete the one from the triangle. Continue. All right. So I have the triangle and the circle. Now I need to limit the colors. I can see that the triangle colors are red, yellow, and green, and the circle colors are red, blue, yellow, and green. So I'm going to remove the blue. I'm going to put, instead of blue, I'm going to put another yellow so that it's easier to go through the yellows, and change this to yellow. All right. Cool. So now let me move the whole triangle circle so that I can actually use it. And I'm going to move it at the beginning so that I can use it right now. All right, moving it right there. So put it at 0 on the X. And I'm going to zoom in. Okay, we can see it. Now I'm going to create a prefab out of this by going to the prefab folder. I'm going to drag and drop the triangle circle object inside of the prefabs, and now I see it inside of the prefab. That's exactly what I want. Perfect. Next thing I want to do is click on play and see if it's working. Okay, I'm going to click on play here as well, and I'm going to cheat a little bit by moving the sphere so that we can see it. Moving the sphere up. Here it is. So I see. Okay, so I see the triangle and the circle. That's exactly what I want. Okay, let me move just the camera so that we can also actually see it. Cool. So yeah, so we have the circle and the triangle. Now, something I want to do is actually move the camera down in general so that it's easier to see what's coming up. Okay, so I'm going to move it to something around 3.5. Yes, 3.5 will do. So I'm selecting I stop the game, I select the camera, and instead of being at the Y of 0.3, I'm going to put it at 3.5. So now when I press play, I can easily see what's coming up next, right? As you can see. So I'm playing, moving, and I see what's coming up next, all right? It's easier to see now. I can just pick a color. Oh, well, I lost. So there's a problem here. The triangle and the circle should go at, not at the same speed. They should have both their own speed. So I'm going to select the triangle circle object and change the speed of the circle. So clicking on the circle, I'm going to make the circle go faster. So I'm going to go and put 1.3 and take the triangle and make it shorter, go slower to 0.8. All right, so now I'm going to press play and we'll see that the triangle is moving at a different speed than the circle. All right, so as you can see, we see the triangle and the circle. So I need to go through the red. Wow, that's going to be very hard. Let's be honest, these are definitely complex shape. It's not easy at all. All right, yep, almost. I almost made it. All right, cool. So it's working as intended. Now I want to work and create a game icon. So I'm going to click on the game, and I'm going to cheat a little bit by moving the camera to take a picture of this. So I'm going to press play, and what I'm going to do is pause the game, actually press play here, and then I'm going to pause the game. All right, and that's a very good time to pause the game. What I'm going to do next is take a picture of this, Command-Alt-Shift-4 on the Mac, and take a screenshot of this. Now, if you're on a PC, just do a print screen here, and that will work. And this ends up in the desktop, and here it is. So I actually took one earlier. I can use this one or this one. I'm actually going to use this one, the new one, the triangle and the circle. It looks pretty neat. So I'm going to right-click, open with Photoshop, because I'm going to make an icon out of this. Now, you don't have to use Photoshop. Any tools like Sumo Paint, Paint, yes, sumopaint.org or .com or gimp.org, they both will work. Or your regular Microsoft Paint will also work. I'm going to create a new file or change the size of this. So image, adjustment, image, not image size, canvas size. And in the canvas size, I'm going to take pixels, and I'm going to make the canvas to 1024 pixels over 1024 pixels. So it's a square of 1024 pixels. Now I'm going to increase the size of it, Command T to transform, and I'm going to take as much room as I can. Excellent. Okay. Now, what I want to do next is move this ball and add some kind of an effect that it's moving fast. So I'm going to take the ball, cut it, just Command C just to copy it, and Command Shift V to paste, and Command T to make it bigger. Right? So here it is. It's bigger. It's okay if it's a bit fuzzy. That will do. What I'm going to do next is remove the black around it by selecting the magic wand, removing this, and I'm going to add an effect on this. So I'm going to duplicate the layer and add an effect, a filter, add a speed effect, like if it's moving fast. And that's called a blur effect. That's called a motion blur effect. So select motion blur, take it horizontal to be 90 degrees, and let's put a smaller distance. Yeah, this one will do about 80 pixels. Press OK, and I'm going to move it a little bit. All right, so we can actually see it moving. Now, what I need to do is select the layer below and remove the red that was there below, and take the paint bucket and paint on right below. Cool. So now we have a ball moving fast. Okay, it might be a bit too much, so I'm going to take the opacity down. There we go. That will do just fine. Now I'm going to save this as a screenshot. Command-Alt-Shift-S. Make sure you save this as a PNG file. Remove the transparency and click on Save. And now I'm going to save this one on the desktop, and I'm going to call this one icon 2-1024 pixel or px.png. All right, I'm saving it, and now I'm going to add it to my project. I see it right here, and I'm going to add this. I created a new folder in Unity called icons, and I'm going to drag and drop the file inside of my icons folder. All right, here it is. So now I should be able to see it. Yep, and it's right there. I see the icon. Cool. So I want to assign it, and to be able to assign it, I need to do this within the player settings. So I'm going to click on Unity File, Build Settings. Make sure you select Add Open Scene to the scene in build. Then switch to iOS. Click on iOS or Android and click on Switch Platform. Once you do that, you will be there. Then now click on Player Settings and close that build settings window. And the build settings appear on the right side. Now, in the desktop, in the default icon, click on Select and select which icon you want to use. So I can use this one or this one. I'm going to use this one. All right. And now the next thing I want to do is to work on the settings here. So the company name, put your company name or put your name if you don't have a company name. Put a product name. I can call this one color with a K. Okay, color switch clone with a K, so that, just to emphasize it, that it's a clone. And here, put a bundle identifier. So I'm going to put com.appsfresh.color clone. Now, it doesn't really matter what's here. What matters is that you remember what you put here. Okay, that's all that matters. You have to remember what you wrote down. Okay, and then the best is to copy it and paste it in a file so that you remember what it is. So I'm going to paste it right there. I don't need that anymore. And I'm just going to paste it. Okay, so that's the name of the file that I'm using right now. That's going to be the app ID. All right. Now, the next thing I want to do is to get ready to publish for iOS. All right, and so for those of you that don't want to publish for iOS, you can just skip that part, or you can keep going through it. I'm going to try to go as fast as possible, and we'll go from there. So usually you don't have to change any settings. It's ready for iPhones and iPads, so it's ready to go. And what you want to do is click on File, Build, Settings, and here click on Build. All right, and once you do that, it will create the executable file for iOS. So here inside of the color switch project, right outside, I'm going to create a new folder called build or build-iOS so that I know that it's for the iPhone. And then I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call this one build-iOS and click on save. All right, so it's going to take all the files and make an executable file that I will use to send it to the to the iTunes App Store and have the app published there. Okay, so bear with me. It's a small game, so it shouldn't take too long. Okay, almost there. And meanwhile, what I'm going to do, right after it's done, I'm going to show you what you have to do next. First, you have to download Xcode. If you don't have Xcode, go grab it. Now, you might be wondering, how do you get Xcode? Well, you have to open the App Store. So let me show you. I open the App Store, and then I go to search right here inside of the search, and I search for Xcode. Okay, it's that simple. Xcode. Press Enter, and Xcode will appear. Here it is. Now, I already have it, so it says open. But if somehow you don't have it on your computer, it will say download. Okay. So make sure you click on download and then you follow and do whatever you need to do to download it. Cool. That might take a while. It's a very big, very, very big file. It's like at least 10 gigs, so it might take a long time. Okay, having said so, now let's double check in Unity what's going on. It stopped, so that means that the build is finished. Now that I have the build, I can just open Xcode and open the build in Xcode. Now this is the build iOS folder that we just created. And inside of this, you will see a unity.iphone.xcode proj. That's the file we want. That's the file that will open in Xcode that we're going to create the executable. So double click on this, and this will open it in Xcode. All right. So bear with me, it might take a while. The next step you want to do is to, what you want to do is to create it for iPhones. And to do so, you need to click on the Unity iPhone on the left side of the panel and make sure you have the automatically managed signing. Okay, and then you have to select your team. If you don't have a team, click on add an account. Once you do that, you have to log in with your Apple developer account, the username and password. If you do not have an Apple developer account, that's not a problem. You can actually get one in no time. You can go to any web browser. And once you're in your web browser, you can go to developer.apple.com. And then once you're here, you'll have to go and click on develop. And once you're here, you'll have to get the license. So I don't see the license here. So you may have to just click on account and log in and get the license. Now I already have the license, so I probably could just Google it. Apple developer license. So if you look for this, here it is. Okay, it's /program. Okay, so go to developer.apple.com/programs, and here you'll be able to download the and get the license. You have to click on enroll, and the license is $99 a year. Is it worth it? Totally. I don't know if you remember in the past, it used to cost thousands of dollars to be able to do that. Now you can do it for $99 a year. All right. I'm not going to go through the whole process of creating the account because it's pretty straightforward, okay? All right, cool. So now the next thing I want to do is go back to Xcode. And once you have your account added and that you have the team selected here, what we have to do is create the executable file. And the way to create the executable file is to click on Product Archive, okay? Remember, Product Archive. And this might take a while. It's going to take all the files and create an archive for you. Now, the next step you need to do is go to iTunes Connect. So it's a website, itunesconnect.apple.com. Once you have your Apple developer license, you will be able to go to itunesconnect.apple.com, and that's where you're going to create the settings to be able to publish your app to the App Store. So I'm going to use this account. All right. And the next thing you want to do is create a new app here. It's pretty straightforward to create a new app. Oh, there's new agreements, so I have to continue and accept these agreements. Account on the developer website. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now, but know that you cannot push usually. You cannot publish it if you're not accepting that, okay? So I might have to go and do that right now, actually. And you probably have to do it, okay? So I'm in my account. Review agreement. So you'll have to do that as well, especially if it's a new account, okay? By checking I agree and I agree. Usually Apple is pretty okay, it's straightforward. They're not going to do anything to kill you. They want to make sure that we all, we have a good business. All right. Now, going back to iTunes Connect. So I'm going back to itunesconnect.apple.com. What I'm going to do next is first, I want to remove Photoshop because it's using too many resources. So don't save. I don't need because I already did. Then I'm going to click on My Apps. All right. So in iTunes Connect, click on My Apps. Once you click there, all your apps will appear there. If you don't have any apps, that's normal. This will be empty, but don't worry about it. Next thing you want to do is click on the top left sign. There's a plus sign. Click on that plus sign, and let's add a new app. All right. And now let's select iOS. Let's give it a name. And by the way, the name that you need to put here is the same name as the name you put inside of Unity. So mine is called, let me double check because I don't really remember what I put there. Mine is called, so to remember what your app is, go to File, Build Settings, and then Player Settings, okay? And it's right here, Color Switch Clone. So I'm just gonna copy this and just put it here, Color Switch Clone. And the primary language, it would be English for me, but you can choose your. The bundle ID, it might not be here just yet. So let's see. It might be there. As soon as I create the build here, it will appear. Okay, so it's still linking. So we'll have to wait for this to finish so that we can have that. If not, let me show you how to create it. I'm going to take that, go to a new browser window and go to the developer.apple.com website. And I'm going to sign in on account. And now I'm going to click on certificates, identifiers, and profiles. Once I'm there, I'm going to click on identifier app ID. I'm going to add a new app ID. And this app ID would be a new one. So I'm going to click on plus on the top right, put it a name, and the name would be clone color switch. That's mine, but feel free to put which name you want. Okay, and then I'm going to put a value which would be the team ID, and then the bundle ID will be com.appsfresh.colorclone. Now, do not put mine because mine, this needs to be unique. So put any other one. It doesn't matter as long as it's a unique, okay? And then I'm going to click on continue. All right, and register. Cool. So now I have an app ID. It's there. Click on done. Now I can go back to iTunes Connect. And now I'm going to press Command R or refresh. So you can refresh this page. So make sure you refresh this page so that you're able to get there. If somehow it doesn't work, that's okay. I can always, okay, here it comes. It took a while. So click on plus, new app, iOS. So the name was clone color switch. And then I'm going to choose English. And the bundle identifier is the one that I just added. And I need to find it here. And I actually see it. I'm lucky because I have so many, I have like hundreds of them. But I see it right there, color clone switch. You guys see it? So I'm going to click here. And now I'm going to put the same for the SKU number, okay, which would be com.appsfresh.colorclone. I usually do this because it's very easy to remember that it's the same one as the SKU number. And click on create. All right. So now this is going to come up. And this is the screen to send it to the Apple Store. All right. Now, you need to fill up the information here, any privacy policy, what category. So this is going to be in games. I'm going to go really fast on this because I have other courses that are showing you how to do that. And it's very straightforward. Okay. And save. Every time you do something, click on save. Then click on the price. You know, if you want to change the price, make sure you click on prices. Okay, prices and availability. And make sure, right now I'm just going to put it free, but feel free to put something. No discounts, and click on save. All right. Then click on prepare for submission. When you're here, oh wait, I gotta wait. It's still saving, so it's taking a while. Then I gotta click on prepare for submission. And here, what I have to do is put the description and add some screenshots. Now you can take those screenshots straight from Unity. You can go in Unity, and when you press play, you do Command-Alt-Shift-4, and you take a screenshot, and this goes in your desktop, okay? So you have to modify the size, but it's telling you what size it is by clicking here on iOS screenshot properties. So it's pretty straightforward. Put a description for your app. This is what's going to be seen on the App Store. So this is the description that will be seen in the iTunes App Store. Okay. Put some keywords. I'm not going to go into the details here because this can be, for the keywords, this is a search engine optimization, or SEO, or ASO, App Store optimization. There's a lot going on here, but we need a build here. And we don't have an app icon, but let's go and get the app icon. Click on choose, and let's go get the app icon that we made, which is here, icon 2. All right, I'm going to use it, and click on open. All right, and keep filling the copyrights and so on. Okay, and then click on save. Now, the next step is to send the build. So inside of Xcode, I have the Unity iPhone archive that just appeared. You guys see that? That's a new screen that just appeared. Now I can click on upload to App Store. So as soon as you do this, it will recognize your App Store team. Mine is my name. Click on choose. And then it will recognize your app. If you have not created your app in iTunes, it won't recognize it. But here it will recognize because I just created it. I'm sure it's going to recognize. Yep. See, it recognized it. So include everything and click on upload. All right. So this might take a while depending on the speed of your internet because it's uploading and depending on many things. But at this point, that's it. And in about a half hour, once this is done, what usually happens is that in iTunes Connect, you have to refresh this page, and then you'll be able to add your build. There will be a plus sign right next to the build name. Once there's the plus sign, click on plus and add the build that we just did, and then you can click on submit for review. Usually it takes about a day or two for Apple to accept or reject your app. And that's it, guys. That's how you do to send it to the Apple App Store. And as you can see, in no time, you have an actual working game that's in the App Store. Cool. All right. So I'm going to stop for now, and I'll be back in a little bit. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget, Any likes is always motivating. Any share, I'm sure you have a friend somewhere that wants to learn about that. Anything that can help me, because it's not that easy to actually do this live and try to have it with no errors. It requires a lot of skills, and sometimes I'm a bit worried. Is that going to work? Is that not going to work? You never know. Anything live can have technical issues. So please give me some motivations. Subscribe to my channels. Subscribe to my Twitter, my Facebooks, my stuff. Anything you like, anything that can help. Even if it's not you, be a friend of yours. But come on, help me a little bit. All right, later.